Hi, welcome to the show today. Brian Lawton and Hayley Hughes here from Property Revival Realty. We're going to be talking about listing your home for sale, some basic questions that we get asked a lot about how to list your home, how to go through the process, and what that process entails. At Property Revival Realty, we've got an office in Janesville, Wisconsin on Pontiac Drive and one in Madison, Wisconsin on the Beltline at Seminole Road. And we're excited today to just sort of walk you through listing your home and that whole process today, Hayley.
Yeah, so we're going to cover everything over the basics. We've got a few steps for you, really easy to follow. Brian's going to walk us through everything here, and we're going to start with just getting that idea in your head that you think you're ready for that transition, you're ready to make a move. Where do we start?
You got to find a good agent.
Okay.
And so the first place that most people look is probably online, and you can look at, different reviews online. You can go to the national real estate sites like Zillow and Realtor.com that have rankings of agents. But probably the best way is to get a referral. And I think, Hayley, that everybody feels like they know an agent or they know somebody that knows an agent, their uncle, their neighbor, their cousin is a real estate agent. And there's a lot of real estate agents out there, but just because you may know one doesn't necessarily make them the right fit for you. So it's really about finding the right fit, I think, for an agent. And, part of that is interviewing agents. And bringing them in and getting a feel for their personality. These are people who are going to be working around your family, in your house, somebody you want to trust, somebody you want to make sure you have a good rapport with and that you feel is going to work hard for you to sell your house.
So it sounds like it's pretty easy to find an agent, whether that's online or through a friend. So what are some things that we want to look for in an agent? What are those few tips for people looking?
Yeah, I think you want to, like I said, interview a few of them to get a feel for them and to get a feel for who they are. And some things you can tell when you meet with them are very easy things. Do they show up on time to that meeting? That would be a good one. Did they come prepared to meet with you? Did they have something, intelligent to say? Do you feel like they're there to help you? Which I think is, what we always talk about in our company is it coming from a place of help and contribution. And they're there to help you with a major, major life thing, selling your home. So make sure you get that sense that they're trying to help you.
Do you have a tip, one question you should always ask an agent that you're interviewing? Is there something that's on the forefront of your mind that people should just really make sure that they cover their bases?
Yeah, I think that a lot of clients that we work with, and we came from one this morning, they're very focused on how much they can sell their house for. And I think that's the easy feeling. But to me, I'm more of how does your stomach feel about this person? And, are they the right person to allow and figure out other people coming through your home? And it's just a trust thing. And are they there to really help you for your situation? And everybody's situation is different, right? So you could be listing your home for an estate. Maybe somebody passed away in the family, and that's a very delicate situation, or there's a relocation, or all of these life things. So you need to make sure that that person is really there to help you, and I think that's really coming from your gut. And the numbers can come later. How much I can sell this for? What's the market data? But really get a feel for their personality, I think.
Okay. So while a potential client is busy interviewing potential realtors and figuring out who they want to partner with, what are realtors doing behind the scenes to prepare for their first meetings with clients? Yeah,
exactly. So the real estate agent should show up having done research, and they should really have a good grasp of the market that you're in. So in southern Wisconsin here, what's happening in the different counties, what's happening in the city or village that you live in. They should be able to talk intelligently with you about market conditions, interest rates, home inventories, what sorts of homes are selling faster or slower, days on market. There's a lot of knowledge that way that they should come. And they should also come with kind of a preliminary price range they think your house can sell for if you're meeting them in your house. Sometimes those first interviews don't happen in your house. But
and let's go total basics. So what are these things that these realtors are looking for to compare to bring that price to a client?
So the agent is going to study things like the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, very simple things like that, the square footage on your home. They've never been in your home yet, probably. So they don't really know the condition of it or what your updates are as far as your fixtures and furnishings. So the very basic square footage, how many beds, how many baths, first floor things like master suites or laundry rooms, number of garages. So they'll be studying that, the type of neighborhood it's in. They'll be doing research on the assessed values and market values and try to come to an average before they've seen your home.
And there's all different ways that clients and agents come together, whether that's an inquiry online or a phone call or a referral. So eventually it comes to the point where the two of you meet. And so what does that first meeting kind of look like?
Yeah, the first meeting, I think, is if you've already selected your agent, is that kind of what we're talking about? Yeah. So you selected your agent. I think the first meeting is one that the agent brings a lot of information to you and sort of says, haven't been here before. Here's kind of the price range we think we can get for this house. But we need to walk and take a tour of the property. Outside, you'll show them around there. You as the homeowner would do the same thing inside, showing the features. I think the best, most prepared clients that we work with maybe have a notepad that gives them reminders that says, oh yeah, we painted the whole interior of the house 2 years ago, and we replaced the water softener a year ago, and we're going to be doing the deck, and here's some things we think we might be improving before we sell. So the agent needs to be responsible for just kind of walking you through maybe any improvements you plan on doing before you put it on the market. But it's really a home tour. You as the homeowner giving that person a tour of your home and explaining the features. The agent is just observing. What are the countertops like? What's the flooring? Are they higher end, lower end? The appliances? Is it on a cul-de-sac? What's the lot like? So the agent is, while they have all of the research they did before they got there, some things can change for them up or down in that value because they're sort of taking mental notes as they walk through, and then they'll go back and use that information to give you a better price point.
And so if these homeowners have maybe a honey-do list, there are some things that they just haven't finished yet, that's okay at this stage? That's okay to just still have a list that they need to work through and do some updates or maybe fix up a few things?
For sure. You want to get your home market ready, and I think a good agent is going to walk you through some of the common things you do to get your home ready. You want the good curb appeal. You want to clear the clutter. You want to make sure your house is very clean. Those are the easy ones, but should we paint this, or should we saw one this week about maybe we should redo the deck. Just having an opinion and to know the value might get back from the work you put in or not get back, and making sure you can get your questions answered as a client of that agent.
And I think that's a big thing. If you're a homeowner, to have these questions, like Brian mentioned, a notepad that you can talk with your agent about and just kind of work through that together. You guys are a team. You're working on this big transition in your life. So it's okay to work kind of together. You don't have to be fully prepared when you meet for that walkthrough. You can have those questions. Yeah. Okay. So you're meeting with the client in their home. You're doing a walkthrough. You've reviewed the property. So what does an agent do now?
So the agent is going to have to go back and just refine what they thought about the house before they even saw it. And you're going to have to somehow, after your conversation with that client, really understand what they need out of the sale of their home. You're there to help them with their situation. So you got to understand if there's debt on the home. You got to understand if there's any other circumstances that you need to know about, and really understand what they want out. Do they want to make money on it? Or are they just trying to break even? All of those things sort of influence how you're going to market and sell the house. But really, you're going back to the office and you are just refining the list price. And you're going to be able to come back to that client and say, here's what we should list it at, and here's why. Here's the market conditions. Here's the condition of your home. Here are the comparable properties in your neighborhood, the similar ones. That agent should give you a really detailed report. Maybe they have interior pictures of the other ones they're comparing it to. Maybe they have, all the data on each of those homes and how long they were on the market, what they sold for, what they were listed for, all of that information. And, a good agent is going to spend hours doing that.
Yeah, and so you talk about these comparable homes. What are things that you're comparing from home to home? Obviously, every home is unique in its own way. So what are some things that you focus on when comparing? Yeah,
and if you're in a bigger area like Madison here, you're going to get an opportunity to say, we're only, we toured a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch that was 1,600 square feet, didn't have a finished basement, and it was a 2-car garage. Probably enough of those have sold in Madison that you could only be looking at those in that neighborhood. But if you get into the smaller outlying communities, like here in Dane County, if you go a little south into Edgerton or, Stoughton or, Evansville, Janesville even, you're going to have to broaden that search a little bit. So you'll compare square footage within a couple hundred square feet. You might have to bring a two-story comparable into a 1-story. It just depends on the community and how much you have out there.
Okay, so that's good for potential listeners to know. So then after you've brought this new data to the client, you're going to kind of review what your game plan is as far as how you can get this house up for sale, what that marketing plan kind of looks like. And then what is it, what should the sellers be focusing on then?
So the sellers need to be comfortable with the plan, right? Yeah. So the agent by now has sort of explained what their company does and does well, and the process behind the scenes of selling. We're not just going to put a sign in your yard and sell it. There's kind of a scientific process behind the scenes of completing that transaction, getting it from sign in yard to close the deal. Yeah. And there's a lot that goes into that between marketing digitally, between handshaking in your networks, between using drone video or professional photography and all of these things, open houses. The person selling the home should really have a good understanding of how the agent is going to work for them. Because when the sign goes in the yard, the work doesn't end. You don't just sit around and wait for the phone to ring. Right. Now the work begins. You have to go sell that house. So what should the client expect? They should expect a lot of hard work at that point. And hopefully they've hired somebody that they feel is going to work hard for them.
Yep. And so with Property Revival, we have such a team in the office, so many hands touch everything just to make sure that we're delivering the best service to our clients too.
Yeah. I mean, we have in-house the transaction coordinator. We have a digital coordinator. We have these teams of people that all have their jobs as soon as a home is listed. And that's very important to explain to your client, no matter what company you choose, right? So everybody should have a process they can explain very easily and comfortably to somebody selling their house. So it takes a lot of work to sell homes quickly, and good agents and good agencies do that no matter the market.
Yep. So are those things that clients should be asking agents when they're in that interview process too, kind of what their marketing plans look like and kind of what happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's a great question. What are you going to do to work to sell this thing for the price that I not only I want, but you've sort of said it is worth. And they, the agent should have a very comfortable answer for you, be able to show you maybe on paper and not just marketing material. I mean, really show you the step-by-step process, maybe introduce you to members of their team and that kind of stuff.
So at this point, a client has interviewed an agent, selected an agent they feel comfortable with. They've met, they've talked about the research, the preliminary research. They've gone through a walkthrough of the property and the home. The agents come back with new updated information, kind of a new potential price that they can list the home at. The seller started to prep their home. You talked about keeping it clean, clutter, the curb appeal, all of those things. So what comes next?
What comes next is that agent is getting to work. So you might follow up with new data. You're going to market the home using an open house, as part of your team. Those open houses can look a lot of different ways. They can be during the week in the evening with, cocktails and snacky foods, and those are fun. It can be very traditional on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, the walkthrough stuff like that, but that should be part of it. You should see your home out on hundreds of websites, the national websites. So when we list a home in the MLS, that's pushed out to all of those Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, all of the sites that you see. But also, that agency should be managing local digital pages as well, Instagram and Facebook, and on their different locations, on their different agent pages, reacting and commenting with people, engaging with potential buyers. And then also, you should be able to get feedback on a weekly basis, at least from your agent or the company about, hey, what's happening? What do you? How many people are viewing it online?
And what does that feedback look like? That's a meeting, that's an email, that's a phone call?
I think it's a combination of all that, just depending on the week and what the property is, what the market conditions are right now. Things go fast depending on the price point. So, it's an email. Hey, here's how many digital impressions you had. Here's how many people we've engaged with online. Here's how many showings there were. Here's how the open house went, and who we're talking to.
And again, just working as a team, the client and the agent working together. Same goal.
Same goal, same team, exactly. So after, after that, you have to make sure your home as a client is always showable, which is a big stress. Yeah. You're going to be having strangers through your house on showings. You got to be ready to say yes to all these showings that may be inconvenient, and you may have several in a row. That means you got to move pets or kids or all of these things, but you got to kind of roll with it and just understand that's part of the process.
Journey filled with a lot of transition.
It is, and you're going to be okay in the end. and your agent can help you with their team really make it a more comfortable experience for sure.
Yeah. So at this point, we have a for sale sign in our yard. We're ready to move. Is that the part that we're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, right before that, one thing we skipped is that you're going to go through a listing contract with the agent, and that's just your agreement between you and the agency about what the home is going to be listed at. Is there any confidential information you don't want shared about it? What's going to be included? You know, is the pool table going? Or is the washer and dryer going? Your kitchen appliances, you know, the window coverings, all of those things are all negotiable, and you want to make sure they're in the listing contract. And you'll fill out what's called a real estate condition report, which is just your acknowledgement of how long you've lived there and all of the things that you've noticed that are really wrong with your home, and just being really honest about that and disclosing all of that. Your agent will help you work through that listing contract, and it's going to say how many days we're going to list this for. You know, I'm going to give you 3 months to sell this, 6 months to sell it, whatever it is. So then that sign goes in the yard, the pictures are up, the video's going out, and the marketing begins.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And for those of you guys listening, our website, propertyrevivalrealty.com, has a ton of really great printables, information, blog posts, really easy format to contact us if you have any questions. But one blog that I really wanted to point out was our top 10 ways to get ready to list your house. So we kind of mentioned that clear the clutter, keep it clean, the curb appeal. We've got a whole blog post full of a ton of ideas for you guys to really get yourself geared up and ready to list your home. Anything else in that process that you want to touch on today?
Again, just hire the person that you feel most comfortable with, and you feel good about their team and how they're going to work, and your personalities align, and then just communicate. It's a team, as you said, Hayley, the whole time. It's really a team effort, which is a great point. So good luck selling your house. Thanks for listening to Listing Your Home with Property Revival Realty live again today. We try to do this weekly, and we really appreciate you listening. Really appreciate having Hayley here for her first time on live video.
It was great. Thank you.
You did a good job. So we'll see you next time. Take care.